and welcome to another edition of Maturing with COA. My name is Carolyn Karger, and today I am super excited to have a conversation with my good friend, who is the program coordinator for COA's Care Connection program, Mr. Michael Large. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's
good to be here today.
Good. It's a stormy day. But today we're excited to talk about the program that you coordinate for COA called Care Connection. I thought maybe we could get to know you a little bit before we talk about the program and ask you, when did you start working for COA?
Well, I started volunteering actually for Care Connection in 2011, probably November or December of 2011, as a volunteer in the office. And then I was hired as the program coordinator in June of 2012.
Wow.
So I've been there, it was 8 years this past June.
Oh, wow.
8 years as a coordinator, and then 9 years altogether with COA.
That's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time, but I enjoy it.
Yes. Are you originally from St. Augustine?
I'm not. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And I have extended family here. And my parents retired here. So I moved in 2011 because the winters in New York were getting, more and more. We were seeing more and more snow, which I don't enjoy. So I moved here in 2011 to escape the winter. And like I said, I started out as a volunteer as I was searching for a job, just to sort of keep my skills up and make connections in the community. And ultimately, I, was lucky enough to, there was the opening at COA and matched with what I was doing at the time. So I decided to take it, and here we are, years later. So
9 years later.
Yep.
Well, I sympathize for your reasons for leaving Brooklyn. I'm also from the New York area, metropolitan area, and I feel the same way you do about the snow and the winter and the cold. And I think
beautiful to look at, but it's not great to live in. So
the one thing I miss is the quiet of that when it's snowing.
Yeah.
Remember that quiet?
Because even in the city, when the first snow, when it was fresh, everybody was just sort of quiet, and you could just, even with the traffic, it sort of just got very quiet, and you could sort of hear the snow crunching, and then a couple hours later, it would be dirty snow, and you'd just be like, okay, it's over.
That's true. That's true. So, the side effects are not worth it.
No.
Anyway, did you ever work for a nonprofit before?
Actually, thinking about it, my entire career has been somehow focused on nonprofit. I spent several years in education, higher education, at a public institution. So that was nonprofit. And prior to that, I spent a couple of years working in the theater industry, working for small nonprofit theater organizations. So yeah, I've always sort of had a connection with the nonprofit community.
That's great. I mean, this program, Care Connection, is so important to seniors and people who need our help in the community. Can you tell us about the services that Care Connection provides?
Sure. Care Connection is completely volunteer driven. I'm the only actual employee. Everyone else is a volunteer. And we do, through the work of volunteers, we're able to complete a variety of things. We do minor home repairs. We build wheelchair ramps. We provide pet food for individuals, both on Meals on Wheels and members of the community who may not be able to afford it. We have a group that will mow lawns on a weekly basis. Um, and we also have the office staff will assist seniors with applying for um, government benefits like SNAP or Medicaid, um, as well as emergency energy assistance. A lot of what we do is based on the needs we find in the community. So we do try to connect seniors who call with a volunteer that will assist them. So even if it's not like something we do on a regular basis, we will work with that senior to either find assistance through COA, if that's available, or if not directly through COA, then the community at large. For example, like right now I'm working with an individual who needs some assistance with plumbing, and plumbing is not something that we do because it's definitely not minor in terms of a home repair. So right now we're working to try and find funding to assist her in actually getting a professional out to help her with the concern she has with the tub. We sent a handyman out there about a week or 10 days ago, and he recommended we deal with a professional licensed plumber. So we're looking for that. Obviously we have those connections, but in terms of funding, the individual has difficulty making ends meet as it is, and this was an unexpected. Luckily, it's not a major emergency, but it was definitely an unexpected cost for her. So she called us looking for assistance, and although it's not something we normally do, we do feel it's necessary for her safety. So we're looking for funding as well as a plumber to assist.
I see. So how many volunteers do you work with in the program?
Currently, I would say I have about 60, and that's through all of the services we offer. There's probably six in the office regularly that I work with on a daily basis, and then the rest of the volunteer staff they work when they're able. So our lawn crew will work weekly from about 8:30 to 11:30, and the crew for them can range anywhere from 5 to 20, depending on volunteer availability. So, it is a great, for those that are looking to volunteer and have sort of want to do this type of work, it's a great opportunity because you can sort of work on your own schedule. Once the client contacts the office, we record all the information in terms of contact and a brief description of what's needed, and then volunteers come in as they're available, look at our logbook and pull out those that they're interested in working with, and then they contact the client and set up appointments. So basically, they're working independently, or they can work with another volunteer if that's how they enjoy working. But all my volunteers are able to make their own schedule and work their own hours when available. So.
And the Cutters and Clippers crew, I understand, is in need of more volunteers.
We are. We always need volunteers on our lawn service crew. Especially, we're always looking to expand the area of service. Right now, we sort of focus on the St. Augustine area, like let's say 32084, and then 32086, which will be like south, and then the beach as well. And we definitely want to expand that as much as possible to cover more of the county. We do have a wait list that is constantly open, and we're constantly taking new names and always looking for ways to assist as many seniors as possible. So we're definitely looking for lawn crew, minor home repair. If you're out there and you want to volunteer doing this type of work, we'd be happy to have you. Like I said, I think it's a really great place to work, and depending on how you like to work, whether it's independently or with another, we can definitely work with your style and your schedule.
So just so people know, if they're interested in that volunteering opportunity with the cutters and the clippers, they meet on Thursday mornings. Is that correct?
They do. They meet on Thursday mornings in the parking lot of COA at about 8:15, and by 8:30, there's they're all piled back in their cars and with a series of trailers behind them, and they're back in the COA parking lot usually by 11:30. Some of them gather, well, when the center was open and we were serving lunch, some of them would gather after their shift basically and have lunch together at the COA. So they'd start at 8:15 and they would be done between noon and 12:15 if they wanted to stay for lunch. If they weren't interested in lunch, they would be done by 11:30. And in that time period, we generally are able to get about 18 to 20 lawns done a week. So I mean that's a lot of work for roughly a 3-hour period, and it's
And
just a testament to the. Sorry, go ahead.
COA provides the equipment, correct?
We do. We provide the equipment. We cover any cost for maintenance. Right now, there's 3 sort of who I like to call lead volunteers, and one of those gentlemen, Phil, is sort of in charge of making sure that the equipment is in operating order and safe, and so he'll take care of that. But we work with members of the community to keep those up and running, but we do provide all of the equipment needed. We cover the cost for gas if needed, things like that. So there is no expense to the volunteer to do any of this work.
Great. So, and these people on the team and all of your volunteers are helping seniors who need services for which there are no funding sources available. Is that correct?
That's correct. I like to say that Care Connection in general fills in the gaps where COA is not able to assist. The program itself was started by a group of volunteers because they saw sort of gaps in the services that were needed by our clients and the services that we were providing through subsidized or funded services. And that's where the lawn crew is probably one of the first services offered through Care Connection, because a volunteer approached COA and said, hey, I noticed this. There's a bunch of seniors who need help cutting their lawns, and I would like to run this for you if you are willing to support it. And so COA did, and from there we've sort of branched out into everything else we do. And it's often hard for me to even describe what it is we do, because a lot of it is based on what a client needs at that particular moment. If there's a volunteer there that we feel can help them or is interested in figuring out a way to help them, we will do it.
So it's a great group of volunteers, and these are all services that the seniors can't afford to pay for, so they can't get the help that way. And the government does not provide funds to pay for them to get the help that they need. And all of this is allowing them to maintain their independence and enjoy living at home and not needing to
Ab-
go into assisted living.
Absolutely. You you can't imagine the amount of pride someone is able to take in their home just because their lawn has been freshly mowed. Um, and you know, they're very aware that they personally cannot do it, and they don't. Many of them cannot afford to pay a professional on a regular basis. So the fact that COA offers the service at no charge to them is a great comfort and a sense of security because one, their yard is safe. They can safely walk out into the yard and not be concerned about insects or snakes or what have you being in their path. But they can also take pride in their home because their home looks similar to those in their neighborhood. Um,
I imagine that
so
keeps them safe too, because their house doesn't look abandoned or like there's someone there who can't take care of themselves.
exactly, exactly. I mean, and honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's something that I never even thought of before working in this position. The sort of the need for having your lawn taken care of.
Yeah. Now, what kind of repairs does your minor home repairs team see that seniors need and that they have a hard time providing for themselves?
Sure. I mean, I would say probably the biggest thing we do is putting up safety devices. So things like grab bars in showers and around, toiling areas and things like that. That's probably the number one thing we do and we get requests for. And then it's from there, it could be anything like changing a light bulb, changing batteries and smoke detectors. Um, it can really, again, it can sort of really run the gamut. And a lot of what we do depends on the skill level and the comfort level of the volunteer involved. In terms of safety, though, another big thing that we do would be providing ramps, whether it be for an individual in a wheelchair or an individual who uses a cane or a walker or just is plain unsteady on their feet and not comfortable, maneuvering stairs. We will do that, provide that as well at virtually no cost to the individual. We do always sort of ask for a donation and let them know that this is being provided through volunteer labor. And so we're always putting the word out there that we need assistance so that we can help other individuals, but ultimately there is no cost to a client to receive any of our services. The only requirement is that you are, or someone in your home is 60 or over.
So in order to fund this program, which obviously needs supplies and fuel and COAs, administrative services, how do we fund it generally?
It's funded completely through donations.
Okay.
There are brief periods where we may find a grant to assist, but grant periods are just that, they're periods. And the grants and the rules that are behind them are constantly fluctuating and changing, and we may not qualify for a grant that we qualified for the year prior because rules have changed or the grant itself may no longer be available. So we are all constantly relying on donations to just fund our services.
And also COA typically every year has a special event that's all about raising funds for Care Connection. Am I right?
Yes. We have the annual Christmas on the River event, which honestly, that one evening funds the bulk of our services for the entire year. And unfortunately, due to COVID and social distancing, we're not able to have that event this year. So we're calling on our supporters and the community to still donate, even though we're not able to gather together and sort of bring in the holiday season as we normally would.
Yeah. Well, it's sad. It's a sad reality that this year we can't have our Christmas on the River, that everyone, it seems, in the community sort of kicks off the holiday season. And we usually have, a reception at River House, and we have an auction, we have wreaths that are up for auction and other items. And it's a big sort of holiday party with music and food. And this year we can't do it, but as you said, it doesn't mean that we don't still need to fund this really important program that helps so many people to stay in their own homes and enjoy their independence, and in some case enjoy renewed independence in the case of where you all are constructing a ramp for people who are literally housebound. So we need to get the word out to the community that this year we're asking people to please donate the ticket price that they ordinarily would have. We're calling it the non-event of the season. And if you are interested in supporting us this year, we hope you will. You can just visit our event website, which is www.bit.ly/non-event 2020. And there you'll be able to see, you can donate your ticket value. You can also become a sponsor, an Elder Guard sponsor, and you can support this really, really important work that truly is a community effort.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that I'm usually the face of the program, but to be honest with you, I would not be here without the contributions of all of our volunteers and our donors. They're honestly the heroes of Care Connection. I could not do what I do without them. And every day we hear back from our clients of how important, how thankful they are for what the volunteers do for them. And it's definitely difficult that we're not able to sort of have the event this year, but we definitely do still need those funds, and hopefully the non-event will become the new event, or I should say the event of the 2020 holiday season.
Right. So if you think 2020 has been hard on you, please think of the seniors that Care Connection serves. And Michael, everyone loves you so much. If we have our supporters out there watching, if you would, we know you support the program, but if you would please share the news about our fundraising campaign, the non-event Christmas on the River. We would greatly appreciate it if you could tell your friends and share it on Facebook and let people know that this is something that you really believe in, and it's something that the community really, really needs. And we would so appreciate if everybody would support us this year, 2020. What a year.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for having this conversation with me today. And
thank you.
I look forward to talking to some of your volunteers in the weeks ahead.
I hope they're able to join, and I'm sure they'll have some stories to share with you. So
yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much for the really, really important work you do. Thank you for your big heart. Thank you to all of your volunteers out there. We know how much they care about the community and how much they give. And how can people get in touch with you, Michael? What is the best way to get in touch with you if they'd like to volunteer or if they would like to donate? You also take donations of assistive devices, don't you?
We do. That's another big thing we do is have what we call a device loan closet. So if you have or you know individuals who have uh, walkers, wheelchairs, canes, things like that that they no longer need, but the items are still in good condition, please think to donate those. We will definitely get those into the hands of older individuals who need them and maybe cannot afford them, and they're not being provided through insurance. So we definitely will take donations of any sort of medical device that you may have and no longer need.
Okay, and what about pet food? Are you taking pet food donations anymore?
We absolutely are. As part of our Meals on Wheels program, any client that has a pet is also welcome to receive a monthly donation of pet food, and that is completely funded through donations. So, and we will take both monetary donations as well as pet food, any size bag that you would like. If you prefer to actually purchase a product, you can just drop off dog food or cat food to the COA, and we will rebag those and send them out with our Meals on Wheels. Or you can make a monetary donation and just make a note on there that you'd like it to go toward Care Connection in general, or the pet food program, or the ramp program, however you'd like it to be used. Just make a note of that in some way, and we will make sure to put those funds directly to that program that you've selected.
Okay, excellent. Because I know we have lots and lots of animal lovers who would really, really like to help seniors with their beloved pet companions and make sure that they're not sacrificing their own meals to feed their pets.
Absolutely. That's actually where the program sort of grew out of that. We were finding that individuals were giving their meals that we were providing through Meals on Wheels to their pets, either splitting the meal, half for them, half for their pet, or completely foregoing their own meal so that their beloved furry companion could eat. So we just decided that this was something we had to do, and we do give as much as we can to the clients on a monthly basis.
So that's great.
Anything you'd like to donate will go immediately back into the community.
That's wonderful. So if people want to drop off pet food, or if they want to mail donations or drop them off, they can do so at COA, which is at 180 Marine Street in St. Augustine. It's downtown St. Augustine. And the main phone number there, if you would like to get in touch with Michael, is 904-209-3700. And we have receptionists who are on duty Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they're very outgoing and they're very warm. Their names are Martha and Barb, and they would be happy to hear from you. They can put you in touch. Can they put people in touch with you, Michael?
They can, or I can be reached directly by phone at 904-209-3648, 209-3648. Currently, I am working remotely, as the majority of COA staff is. So all calls are forwarded to a cell phone, but if you call 904-209-3649, you will reach me or my voicemail, leave a message, and I will definitely get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much, Michael. We're all hoping that this is going to be a really good and successful fundraiser, because we really, really need it to do the important work that you and your volunteers do. We're grateful to all of our donors. So please, everybody, reach out to us and support this wonderful mission. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.